Hey everybody, and welcome to a Moo episode of Indie Film Cafe. I'm your old pal, the Moo Cow, aka Paul A. Presenza, and I am joined by
your co-host Jonathan A. Moody.
Yay! And then today we are joined by
Maku.
Yay! Welcome back, Maku. And the three of us are joined by
Positive Joe.
Woohoo!
On the thumbs.
Plus Joe.
Plus Joe. There. Wow. Yeah.
Plus
still
Joe.
trying to find a nickname.
We're gonna get you a nickname. You didn't like
I
Barbecue Joe, so
No, Barbecue Joe doesn't work. No, don't like that one. And Kane Hodder's nickname for me only works for Kane, not for
there you go.
Okay.
All right. Well, we have gathered together, as we do on occasion, in the studio to watch a movie. And today's movie is a bit of an oddity. It is a German movie. It is a Euro stinker from way, way, way back in the day.
Are these subtitles?
Yes, 2006.
color.
It is color.
Way back in the day, 2006.
2006.
Let me climb
Yes.
into my grave.
Yes, in the way, way back machine.
Was the wheel invented yet?
It was.
Okay.
It was. It was a German wheel. and the movie is called Attack of the Killer Backpacks.
I beg your finest pardon.
Yes, Attack of the Killer Backpacks.
I have nothing.
Now, this is one of those movies where you think it might be going one way, but it actually kind of goes another way. So
Are there killer backpacks in it?
there are killer backpacks in
It's
it.
going the way we thought.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It's not Dancing with Werewolves.
No, which is a great title, but the movie should have had dancing werewolves. It just
Yes,
did not.
it did not.
Had werewolves, they just didn't dance.
Well, in Dances with Wolves, they didn't dance with wolves,
No,
did
but
they?
that was his name.
Yeah.
They were emotionally and spiritually sort of.
Right. Trust me, there are killer backpacks in this film.
Okay, all right.
We will be back to talk about those killer backpacks right after some
Mood music.
Okay, so we are back in Z.
Beckons is saying.
So Attack of the Killer German Backpacks. What did you guys think?
Attack of the Killer German Backpacks. More like attack of my IQ points and will to live.
The Backpacks do a blitzkrieg on the people of Germany, and they are der Toten.
I don't know what that means, but all right, I'll believe it.
Priorities are skewed.
Yep.
People don't have shoes. It's a mess.
People don't have, they don't have, wow, they just walk around barefoot. Crazy.
Has any of you guys heard of this film before?
No.
I think so. I think I heard of it. I didn't know it was German, but I think I was looking up Attack of the, and that's one of the things that pop up on IMDb. So
That's what I did. I looked it up just to see what else was, and I mean I found a lot of other odd Attack of the stuff, but could not find that one. So you said it's under the German name.
Yeah, well, I came across this movie years ago, and of course the title immediately grabbed my attention. So I went online and I found it and bought it and got it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to show my friends this one. And it just kind of got buried with the other mountain of movies that I've got. And then when we started doing Indie Film Cafe, I had it on my list for ones that we were going to do. So
eventually.
we
got to
just
it.
a long, long list.
He has a huge list of movies he wants to share with everybody.
Absolutely. So this was one of them, and it was time.
Worth it.
Worth it. It's just such a silly movie. The problem is that this should have been a lot more fun because they should have gone more. They should have leaned into the backpack stuff. I think they thought it wasn't enough because it was short as it was. So they put in this other stuff about the serial killer, which really doesn't need to be in there. You don't need to have competing,
really.
lines. It's just sort of annoying.
You like the serial killer.
I did like the serial killer.
I didn't mind it, but I would have preferred to have had a separate movie about it.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it's like, it's strange that two things of this intensity are happening at the same time. But at
Very
the same
strange.
time, like, they wove it together fairly not terribly.
It's like, I'm in the woods, I'm being attacked by a cobra, and I'm being eaten by a bear.
They were talking about a shark at one point. They talked about a shark, killer shark or something.
No. They were trying to figure out what the bite marks were. They're like, this looks
That
like
was
a
the
shark.
serial killer.
Oh, that's
But
right.
shouldn't
Okay.
the serial killer had their comeuppance to the backpacks at some point?
She did.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's right, because it was okay.
she got chomped.
Nope.
Spoiler alert.
Well, there's gonna be lots of spoilers in this thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think that
Spoilers.
That 15 minutes when the backpacks went crazy. I mean,
That was
when
awesome.
they really set them loose and it was chasing wheelchairs and everything like that.
That was the movie. That's the vision.
That's probably what sold people on the movie.
That
is
was the
like-
best part of the movie because they're running. They're clearly tied to their legs as they're running.
Frankly, the way we were wheezing watching this, like it was.
It was.
It was
silly.
glorious.
It was.
When the backpacks were there, it was glorious. When the backpacks weren't there, it was kind of slow. It made me
A little
miss.
bit.
It made me miss the backpacks. And when the
Little
guy
bit.
said, "What if purses and suitcases also rise up?" the first time I was like, "Please, God, please."
That's the sequel.
And that's the sequel. So that was what they were hoping for. This would do so well that Attack of the Killer handbags
But you
was
could have
next.
done that. You could have had like a duffel bag eat someone, and you could have leaned into it.
Well, yeah, because there was that one part. I think you thought like something could happen because she had the duffel bag. You know,
I mean, imagine there's a scene where they go to the airport and he's there to pick up luggage, and that happens to be when they come to life.
No, because nobody would let anybody like film in an airport. That's kind of silly.
But my question is, where did they come from? Why did we never cover that? We just had the brief conversation about it existing, and then they were somehow talking about shots fired. Maybe it's a terrorist attack, and then it wasn't a terrorist attack because it was just the backpacks.
Maybe it was lost in translation.
I don't think it even mattered. You know, like you know what I mean. Like when
They
it
didn't
comes
question
down,
it.
yeah, no, they didn't question it. Like because okay, so if a backpack started attacking you for real, would you be like, why is this backpack attacking me, Mr. Backpack?
In the back of my mind, I'd be asking.
I mean, like I would maybe question it. I would
Right.
run, but I can do two things at one time.
There are things I'd be
I
like.
can't.
I'd
I'm
be like, did I eat acid somewhere along the line? I mean, I'd still be fighting it, but
Well, they found enough to tie it down at times because that one was
Tie it down.
that one was restrained by the rope. I mean,
Yeah.
it could eat through people's faces and stuff, but it couldn't eat through a little rope that kept it
Yeah,
restrained.
like I'm questioning the fact that like somehow nobody thought set them on fire.
Well, I thought in the beginning the scissors. I was like, somebody get scissors, and then
unfortunately, there was some nailed to the wall.
just nailed to the wall arbitrarily in the bathroom.
in the
as you do,
bathroom,
I
like
guess.
at the bathtub, right? Like
It's a German thing. You wouldn't understand
It
it,
just
you Americans.
seems sad.
seems scary.
There's just
Like-
the nail was the hook,
Yeah.
but it was hammered into the tile. I don't do construction, but that gave me like
It gave me scary
feelings, just
vibes.
not good feelings.
You broke the tile
why
for
would
this
you-
movie.
Yeah, why would you break the tile? For that, just put a nice hook in there. Why a nail? There were two nails. What else were you hanging there? Hair bands?
Well, I don't want to know.
Well, you never know if there's going to be evil hairbands coming after you.
You know, that's fair. You know what? Hey, who was the director of this?
So that's what we're going to get to.
Maybe I'll find it on the IMDb.
Attack of the Killer Backpacks was written, edited, produced, and directed by Ralph Kemper.
Hey, Ralph Kemper, if you make a second one, can I volunteer as one of the guys who stands behind the camera and just chucks a backpack at someone?
Yes,
please.
That sounds like therapy right there.
He also
you know?
did special effects and did the camera work. So
Who needs a rage room? Work for this guy.
Yeah,
this
work
is
for this guy. Just
clearly-
throw things.
clearly a labor of love for him.
One second. I just want to say my favorite thing, period, in this whole movie is the fact that when the guy's looking outside, and all of a sudden there's backpacks go whoosh, poof, poof, like into the wall and everything. I'm just like, this to me was like, that's the highlight of the movie.
Okay, but considering what it was, like that was a good like classical scary touch because you got to think about if it wasn't backpacks and it was like zombies or alien tentacles. I don't know, some of you might be into that, but like if it's like zombies and you just have the hands and they're out there and they're like, oh, they're coming. It's like, okay, I see you.
But the thing is, it's a little jarring because the first third of this movie, before the backpacks go crazy, they're playing it straight.
Yeah, it's a straight serious movie.
And yeah, it's very serious, and there's nothing funny going on.
Fair.
No,
but it devolves into the backpacks.
I mean,
Or devolves, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Devolves into backpacks having sex.
yeah,
Oh my god.
right.
for heaven's sakes.
There was
And
a
making babies.
backpack porn moment.
and making babies.
You know, in Area 51 or Area 54, whatever that thing is, I don't think that's actually in there.
You know, our Facebook friend would probably love this. Would be Steve for the carousel.
Oh, Steve Rosinsky, I bet he likes this
Steve
movie.
would probably love this because what he did with the
carousel.
horses and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah, this will probably be right up his alley.
Yeah, I would love
I
that.
just feel like at this point, like we see all of this happening. We see these backpacks, but nobody actually figures out what they are. Nobody just opens the backpack fully, like pins it down. Like they chained it to the radiator, but nobody just like took those scissors and just pinned it open, dissected it. Maybe.
I guess you have to kill one of them in order to do that.
But how
She
do you,
did.
But how do you
She
kill
did.
it? How do you
She
kill?
did.
Yeah, like just like
She
stretch the.
stabbed it.
Yeah, she
and then
stabbed the
grabbed
shit out of
hand.
it with the scissors.
Oh, that's right. She pulled a hand right out of her,
Yeah.
out of him.
And it had other stuff in
Had
there
other people's
too.
bowels
Oh,
and
guts and stuff.
stuff. And
Yeah.
They had a few camera shots that showed from inside the backpack.
Oh,
the
that's pretty
zipper,
gross.
The zipper was showing like the opening, and it was like that was a very interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a camera take from inside
Inside a backpack.
Backpack
Didn't
cam.
appreciate the mouth sounds. I'm gonna say it. I did not appreciate the mouth sounds.
Oh.
What's the opposite of ASMR?
Was the opposite? I don't know.
I don't know.
Non-ASMR.
Yeah.
Anti-ASMR.
So our buddy Ralph Kemper, he's done a lot of other things.
I'm still looking for him on the Ivy.
He also did a movie called Toxic Lullaby, which actually won some awards back in 2010. He did a movie called Possession in 2012. He did a movie called Damned on Earth in 2014. He did another movie which won a bunch of awards called Underwelt, The World Beyond, and I'm assuming that means Underworld. That was 2018. And then he did a movie called Der Spiegel in 2023. So he has done some stuff. This was his first film. He,
First film, like we just saw another first
Right?
film, and it was not nearly as good as this
Right.
first film.
I would want to watch more of his stuff because I feel like he had the vision in there. Like he had the pacing was a little funky, but everybody's first film pacing is terrible.
Right.
Frankly, there's not a single person who has nailed it in one go. But I feel like he got
I mean,
pretty good.
he wasn't Robert Eggers, but come on. I mean, he did a pretty darn good job, if you ask me. He's also done editing for other movies. He also directed music videos, a bunch of shorts. He directed a bunch of German television series. And
Oh, okay. So he's a TV
he was
director.
a cameraman for a bunch of other projects. And on top of all that, he is the lead singer and guitarist for a band in the 90s that was originally called Stonehaven and then became Die Schnitter. And they're kind of a mix of like a German rock group and a German folk group.
Do you know what that means?
Do you think that might have been what was playing in the background?
It's possible.
It sounded like 90s.
I've never heard Der Schnitter, but
I mean, that it did have killer drums, like
Yeah.
absolutely killer drums.
So-
I absolutely love the music in this. I mean,
It was
It
great.
was so extreme for the different.
Weird.
There was a variety of it, but I mean, I was really just digging the.
and that was also jarring when they would do the little chapter breaks. Then you'd have this happy la 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 la.
And then
Super puppies on the rise. You know what I mean?
Then you just go right back into the murder in the
How do you spell
house.
Schnitter?
Der Schnitt, Die Schnitter.
Die.
I found the
Is it
title.
die or D?
Die.
Die.
D-I-E
I
Schnitter.
found the movie on the IMDb and all that.
Yeah. He also plays one of the backpackers that gets et. Yep, there you go.
Noise.
So, just a quick thing about some of the folks who are in there because they're all German actors, and I don't think most of us know any of them. But Anastasia, who was, I believe,
Annette.
yeah, she played Annette.
Was it Jeanette or? I thought was that the one that cheated, or the one that the cheater, or the.
Oh, it says it here. I see.
It means death himself.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go.
The Der Schnitter is a medieval German term describing death himself.
Nice. Well, Anastasia, I don't remember which one that is, but was played by someone by the name of Annette Saywert.
I think
So you
that's
don't know
right.
which one was which?
I think she was probably the one with the shoes without the shoes.
Without the
Anastasia,
shoes.
no, Anastasia was the one in the murder film. Remember?
Oh, Okay.
Okay, so
Well, she's been an actress in other shorts, and she also did makeup in a couple of features. Berthe, I believe, who is in the beginning, it was played by Katrin Hebe, H-E-B, was in a TV movie called Einstein, was in a TV movie called Heavenly Bonds, which was a TV show that went on from 2014 to 2016, and was just in a bunch of German TV shows. So primarily a TV actor. Claudia, which I believe is the what do you call it?
the guy that hit his wife.
The one without the
No, that's Klaus.
Klaus.
Klaus,
Yeah,
yeah.
Claudia, I think, is the one without the shoes.
Okay, that's
Claudia.
Judith.
It's Judith Albach, and pretty much this is it. This is it for her.
What about Klaus?
Klaus was played by Stefan Bornemann,
Klausi.
and he's primarily been in other of Kemper's movies.
Yeah.
So he's a guy that worked with him.
I kind of liked him. I mean, he played a good dickhead, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like he did a good job. I mean, at
Oh,
first,
yeah, I hated him. That was, I think, the point.
yeah. I mean, if you hated him, then good. He did his job.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. I don't hate Stefan. I hate Klausi.
I didn't like Stefan though. I didn't.
One
a
of the
person?
other.
The actor?
No, not the
I'm
actor.
talking about Stefan Bornemann, the actor.
Yeah, the actor.
Oh, the actor. I thought you meant the other guy, the other
I
dude
don't know
who
what
was
his name was.
There was
character
another one. Fabienne was played by Janine Melanie Kolotz. Was also in Damned on Earth, which was the one we talked about before, and a movie called Suicide Club. And Ines was the serial killer. Was played by Eva Belkanor, and
She
has
was good. I
been
like
in
her.
a bunch of other films, and is also a stunt person.
Oh.
She was a stunt coordinator in that other movie I talked about, Toxic Lullaby.
Nice.
Oh, that explained the sword fighting.
There you go. And so when I went and looked him up, and I saw some of the trailers for some of the other movies, she was in that.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, okay. So she's definitely been in his films before.
So-
With that straight dark hair, I recognized her immediately.
So there's not really a tie of anybody in this film to an American film.
No,
You would think?
this is all German.
So you have fun with kids. So if somebody says, "Yo, you want to find something for Kevin Bacon?" Just
Yeah.
tell me to throw somebody out from this film.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure within a film or two, you could probably get to something that would cross over to American.
But I mean, you know,
That's cool.
along with everything else, when everything kind of went digital and the sort of great leveler happened and anybody can make movies, this happens in Europe too. So there's all kinds of stuff being made there. So why not also make a weird little B movie that has goofy stuff?
Okay, so they did seem to like American stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they there was chapters much like Tarantino does. There's a lot of like Tarantino influence. I felt like
Yeah, like
in
the
this
feet.
the sword fighting
And
kind of reminded me
remember,
of
they
Kill
were
Bill.
when the news thing was on, and they were talking about different people from the government, and one was the Night of Living Dead director,
George Romero.
George Romero, and another one was another director.
Was it Christopher Nolan?
I forget who it was.
no.
And there's a William Sandler or something.
There was
William
Sandler. There was another one. I
Yeah.
forget who. But yeah, so yeah, they clearly have some American influences there,
Yeah.
which was pretty cool.
I just want to throw a backpack at someone. Is that so much to ask?
Yeah, I mean that part was fun. That's the thing is I wish there had been more of that. Dare I say? But I'm thinking the way they probably looked at it is how much more can we really milk out of this?
Yeah, until it kind of becomes boring.
Yeah.
You know?
And one of the primary good parts about this is the fact that it was, 78 minutes long?
78 minutes long, yeah.
Which is good because
Not
you don't-
2 hours like
Yes.
Joe was trying to scare us
couldn't-
with.
you couldn't-
hours and 18 minutes?
You couldn't pad this out for that long without damaging the film. I think
It
Yeah.
for sure needed to end with
it was
it.
quick.
Yeah, if you would have had another hour of this, that would have been just.
I would've been
I just would have been bored.
green by the
Yeah.
end of it.
Unless you bring in the other stuff, like I said, the suitcases and
But I think that
persons
could have
and-
only worked for another 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Then eventually
like-
that would have got.
But you could get a
repetitive.
few extra gags out.
Oh,
of it,
yeah.
a few extra
I
scenes.
feel like you could kind of end that movie like, oh, they're everywhere.
Like an hour and a half.
That's
you
how it
could
should have
do.
ended. All of a sudden,
Well, I mean-
everything just kind of gathers around, and
Well, no. Was we had the classic dupe of everything's fine. What is it?
Yeah, and at the end, it's like something comes running up to her.
Yep.
Zooming in.
Yeah.
I would
so-
like to have been somebody on the set throwing the suit. I
Oh
think
yeah,
you
that
said
looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Would you get credit? What type of credit would that be? Just special action choreographer? Something was,
Backpack wrangler.
Backpack
Backpack
wrangler.
Rucksack something or other.
Yeah.
yeah, because it rucks.
Rucksack wrangler.
Rucksack master.
And if I was one of the actors, I'd say, "Don't throw it at my face. Throw it down low."
No, I'd be throwing.
Don't throw
I
it
would
down
be-
low. You might hit your.
I would be
Area
beaming
down there.
Now
somewhere.
the
I would be like
question
one-handed
is,
just-
when they had their scene, was there like an intimacy coordinator going on between the backpacks
No,
there?
they didn't
Somebody
even
was
have
just
that.
like
thing.
one backpack.
You only
I
saw
mean-
one, and somebody was just sitting there going,
How do we know there was backpack consent? We don't know
Well,
that.
how do we know there was even another backpack? All we saw was it humping the wall.
I know it looked like
Or
the
humping
wall,
something.
and they were saying, "Oh, they're having sex," but we didn't see the other
Were
backpack.
they having sex through the little fence?
It
In
would've
which
been-
case, like, what?
I'm glad they left that up to mystery.
I'm not. I would have wanted to
Why
see.
do we have to have a talk movie?
The birds, the bees, and the backpacks. Is that it?
The birds and the backpacks.
I
like that.
It was funny though. I mean, I like that they went there. I mean, you're right. We did an earlier German movie called Attack of the Killer Condoms, which was also
Well, just killer
or
condoms.
Killer Condoms, which was also a German movie. It's just that for whatever reason, they decided to set the movie in New York City, and they shot in New York City. The weird thing is that everybody spoke German. So in American, clearly in New York City, so they're all wandering around talking in German.
Germany, do we need to have a talk collectively?
But there was a lot of odd, weird things going on in
That sounds funny though. I mean, 'cause usually it's like they shoot New York, they shoot like Toronto for New York, and they shoot another
Usually.
city for New York. Somebody went to New York and threw German accents.
Yep.
Speaking English.
But really, I think we
Speaking English, yeah, they acted like they were English, American.
I mean, the title alone though, I'm just like, oh my god, what the heck is that? But
So they had people who were clearly not Germans at all, also speaking in German. So
Nice.
it was jarring, but fun, you know.
Where's that?
I feel like I forgot what I was saying. Actually, it was a really good point, and then it just went in one ear, banged around inside of the empty
Well, maybe you can pull
cavern
it out
that
of
is
your
my
bag.
head.
It was
Give me this.
eaten at by the backpack.
You know what? Yep, there's a
It was-
backpack inside my head eating all my thoughts.
There's a backpack living in all of us, I think.
Jeez.
Starving
Jeez,
backpack.
Paul.
it'll come back to you as soon as the podcast is done.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, there you go.
That's how it happens.
I know. Well,
Every time.
backpack, rucksack, same thing, kind of, sort of.
Oh, I remembered it.
Oh, good.
Okay, yeah. My favorite soundtrack was the fact that they put in like Funky Town in there. But what I wish they would have done is a punk rendition of that thing from Dora the Explorer where it's like backpack, backpack. I just feel like they missed a golden opportunity
Or
there.
James Brown, Papa's got a brand new backpack.
Yeah. Then again, this is all very, very American stuff, and they are very, very
Or
not
they could have
American.
done.
Well, they're not
99 red
American.
Love- They could have done 99 red love balloons. I mean, I'm sure the cost of that would have been outside their
Well, I
budget.
just
but
No,
a
because I
punk
think
cover
that-
is
Because it's
fine.
German.
Yeah.
Because
Because-
different versions.
I think
It had a punk
copyright
vibe to it.
I think copyright in Germany is different than copyright in America. So I think they can get away with a lot of stuff that we can't get away with.
Maybe.
Well, it's kind of like how Evangelion, when it first came out, got away with putting in a lot of really high-end songs that didn't make it over into, like, when it got put on, like, Crunchyroll, they had to just replace it with other things, or just the sound of cicadas, which drives me insane. But they had, like really, really, like, good, popular songs, but because it played on Adult Swim, I think it was, but in general played like on like late night TV, then nobody cared. It
Gotcha.
was low budget.
So,
and then they have well, I guess German has they have a different sense of, isn't like David Hasselhoff like their
yeah, he was a big star
big
over
huge
there.
star there. So I mean, in America we have a different sense of humor at times too, because there's always these Attacko type of things. I mean, the Amityville
Mr.
stuff's
Gorbachev, tear down
the
those
Amityville
backpacks.
stuff's sort of now, but it's just interesting to see another culture do something.
I mean, you could have done it. You
Not
could have done a whole like
Hollywood.
goose-stepping squad of backpacks, and one backpack could be yelling at them with like a tiny little mustache. and-
Germany just takes everything so seriously.
I know.
And there's so much mist, so many bare feet. Like, y'all have that much confidence in your sidewalks that you're just gonna have this actress just run with the
It was-
grippers
Europe
out,
is
like-
clean.
It was pretty.
Gotta
clean.
say, Europe is clean. It's not like
I
us.
guess the
We're-
backpacks were eating everything, all the scraps or whatever.
I guess.
We were just awful.
I would not trust having my grippers out there. I would not be running around just with the dogs out.
I mean, I
The
wouldn't.
backpacks are, eating up everything, cleaning up the streets.
But it's
And the
something
toes.
that set her character apart. So that's kind of leading me into my question: is what did you guys think of the performances?
I think my favorite performance was by the serial killer, like 10 out of 10.
She was good.
Oh yeah, she knew what she was doing. She was like serving face all the time, and then like she fell into Psycho so well after starting up. Like she starts up, and you think, oh, there's this wounded woman who's like with a serial cheater, and you see her just kind of like in this shock about it, like angry, shoving this person off, and then in shock about it, and then you see the first hints of psychosis when she's
But
like,
you just think
gonna
it's
kill
because
this
of
thing."
that.
Well, you think it's because of that, or maybe because she got bit because of the backpack, and it's like,
Like rabies.
yeah, and you just sit there and you're like, okay,
Backpack rabies.
what's going on with her? Like, I get it, but she's going maybe like 2% too far, and then it all makes sense, and it's kind of like dominoes. It dominoes back to the
And
beginning.
what I love is that the invasion of a bunch of backpacks trying to kill people really doesn't faze her. She wants to kill this other woman who's been cheating on her, Klausy.
Oh yeah, tunnel vision.
And yeah, and it's like, okay, if the backpacks attack her, yeah, she's gonna knock a few, but as soon as she gets rid of them, focus is right back on bashing the bimbo that took her man.
And it's funny because you thought the other girl was her when
Well, they look very similar.
They look so similar. So when we see her again, you're like, why is she there with that guy again?
She was told it was a blonde.
Yeah. Well, she had
What are you talking
highlights.
about him being the blonde?
I thought it was him, the blonde. Yeah.
Yeah, he was too in a way. We got to see his butt too. I'm sure
Oh God,
everybody
I wanted
cringed.
to forget that.
That's why I thought he was the director.
No.
Buddy, I
you know.
wanted to forget that. We could have gone
Is that
the
something
rest
with
of
the
this
director?
podcast.
I'm going to show my ass.
Well, it's like Tommy Wiseau
Oh,
and other
okay.
people
I'm
do
gonna
that.
say it. There was a little bit of cake. It was a little
There
cake.
you go.
He had it wasn't a flat butt. Good job, sir.
Hmm.
Good job, Stefan.
He's working his butt off.
So if you're into butts, if you're into cake, and you're into feet, this is a movie. And if you're into bags, if you're into
Backpacks.
backpacks, yeah, this is it.
And if you're into really strange, even related to its scenes, the music. It's just, I mean, because some of it didn't fit, but I tell you what, it was fun. that music was fun.
I love that rendition of Funky Town.
The two ladies were both very, very good, I thought, because I really hoped that the barefoot girl, whose name I forget, I really wanted her to live. I was rooting for her.
Annette, is it Annette?
Yeah, I think so. I was rooting for her. And we kind of, sort of, maybe where it's very ambiguous ending, although it doesn't look good.
Doesn't look good.
Doesn't look good, but she had her sword.
There's thousands or millions of backpacks that were that was free reign. So
Yeah.
I don't think she was going to.
No, she's a
Well,
serial backpack killer.
Backpack Slayer.
Backpack slayer.
But she had her sword. It's not like a gun that's going to run out of ammunition, right?
Oh.
Who just has those? Who just has
Her.
that
She
specific
does.
kind of Germans?
Germans.
I'm sorry, Germany. Don't be mad at me.
Sorry.
We're not.
We're not picking on you, Germany.
Why
Well,
are
we
that
kinda
swords
are.
though?
Well,
We
yeah,
kinda are.
no, for sure.
Germany might.
You did start two
the
wars,
German
so.
audience might sit there and you're bad. You did start two wars.
We just went political here,
Sorry.
people.
The German audience would be like, well, you gave us killer donuts and tomatoes and all this other stuff, the Toxic Avenger, and who knows?
But they gave us killer condom.
They did.
I feel like that's a little worse than a killer tomato.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Killer tomato. But see, the funny thing is, like with killer tomatoes and with killer donuts and all that stuff, they're these little creatures that, and killer condom is the same way. Little creatures go, and
cute.
these things didn't make any noise.
No,
they just
made mouth sounds.
Yeah,
mouth
there was
sounds.
those
Yeah,
sounds.
and honestly, if you have Crohn's disease, every tomato is a killer tomato. So I feel like the lines get blurred, but not every backpack is a killer backpack. You know.
Well, I'm not going to look at them the
But
same way. I'm not going to trust them.
The ones that the innocent backpacks.
Get off me.
Now, would they be pursued by the killer backpacks?
Possibly.
maybe
Because then they'd be a victim of their themselves.
Because at least one of those backpacks was a kid's backpack.
cannibal backpacks.
There you go. Backpacks hunting other
they
backpacks.
cannibalize each other.
Yep.
That's the sequel right there. Attack of the Cannibal Backpacks.
Cannibalization.
And then the whole story should be about the backpacks. Did they form a society? Is it this like I Am Legend, and then they form a whole new society?
They've eaten everybody on Earth, and now they're just.
with hierarchies and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
we have to build a spaceship and go conquer another world so we can eat.
Jeez, well at that point they're just tyrannid.
Oh Lord.
So when you decided to bring this one for Indie Film Cafe, what differentiates this from coming here versus going on What the Fuck Friday?
Yeah, this is
'Cause
almost a what the
this,
fuck.
This seems more like it could fit in that one just as well.
Well, it would have if, like I said, if it had leaned more heavily into that, it had gone the extra step.
Gotcha.
You know, this had enough that it wasn't really that good. I mean, I still think it was decent, but it's still not like a really good film.
Yeah.
But it's also not quite What the Fuck. It's close, but not
like
no
What the
cigar.
Heck.
Yeah, it's more like a What the Heck.
What the heck? That's gonna be the next show, people. What the heck Friday or what the heck Saturday?
We've come to that as a society when killer backpacks are
Because
now,
really,
what the heck?
it's the butt shot that probably would have irritated Jen.
Why?
If they would have toned
Because
on
it's
it
a butt shot.
if they would have toned on it for another second, or heaven forbid, if he would have turned around.
Why
Well, it's
did
a
he have
butt
to dance like
shot
that?
on somebody not so attractive too. If it were a good-looking
Oh,
dude,
you just insulted that
Hey,
guy.
hey,
Come on
I
now.
said he had cake.
Come on now.
I'm just saying he was. I mean,
And-
He
Don't
was
be jealous.
dragging
And-
like a compact wagon.
okay,
And
well,
the girl
makes
that
you
he's
happy.
going towards in the shower.
You
she
were all
falls-
judgy, buddy. You were like talking about his sideburns, how it made him look creepy.
No, you said sideburns. I didn't even say sideburns.
You said your soul patch offends me.
Yeah.
That's true. His whole patch did offend me.
But then I said there was something about him. You go sideburns. I go, oh, okay, yeah, because I agreed with you, but I didn't necessarily bring that up. I didn't even think of sideburns.
Now,
at
we-
the time.
Judgy wudgy.
We did get cake, or however you want to say it, with his backside. But the girl, she falls down in the shower, and she's still on the ground, and somehow she gets into a robe, or the bathrobe, and it was just like, it's like, come on.
There was probably a nice backpack who wasn't bad, who helped her up, and
There you go.
helped her with the robe.
Also, like, have you? Okay, so like, for me, I usually have like, because I have the doors to my shower too. I usually drape the towel or the robe or whatever over that, so that when I'm done, before I step out of like the cozy steam, I can just like, meep, and then.
So you're saying she pulled it down because she was on the ground. So she somehow made
Well,
it.
she didn't fall naked. She opened it up and was
I
actively.
thought she slid down or something.
No, she was like actively putting it on, and she was like, "You can always see it," and then
Then she made it to the other room and fully got dressed before she left, except for the shoes.
But there's a moment that could have been fun where one of the backpacks could have done a psycho thing where it went after her in the shower,
Gave her
That
a
would've
purple
been funny.
nurple or
It
something.
would have been
Why
funny.
couldn't you just lock the backpack in the shower? Just keep the door.
And drown the backpack.
the
No,
back-
because it could have jumped over. Because we did see how they jumped up
Yeah.
a full 2 stories.
Oh, that was funny.
That was great.
It launched.
we were laughing. At
We were
that.
just like, what?
He just opened the window for a minute, and they're like 3 stories up there, and zoop,
So
zoop, zoop.
that had to be, instead of somebody throwing it, that had to be on
Wire,
a string or some
yeah.
wire or something.
Or like,
that,
or just like
Probably
somebody
reverse.
really just checking
somebody
it.
launched that.
Well,
and
it was
then-
in
yeah.
reverse, I think, because I think
Yeah.
people were just chucking them out of the window.
Oh
and
yeah, then they just
reversing
shot
the
it.
footage. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, maybe that. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
I'm trying to think. There was a movie. There was a crappy movie. I forget the title of it, but it was a very cheap, crappy version of The Birds. It was made by Renee Cardona, and the actress who was famous in it was the Blame It on Rio actress. She was like kind of big in the '80s. Wasn't Demi Moore. It was
Oh,
the
you know,
other
the
one.
teen girl.
Yeah.
Or the-
Yeah, but she was in Beaks. Beaks the movie.
Beaks.
And that's another one where someone is off camera with a bunch of birds throwing them at the actors.
Birds? Real birds?
Real birds.
No!
Yeah. Well, they're flying too, so it's not like they're hitting them and dying.
So you're taking an object that can actually live on its own.
Yeah, but that's
Ooh.
happening. That's what that reminded me of. We're going to do Beaks. Trust me.
Obviously, they did not have that notification at the end. No animals were
Right. No backpacks were harmed in the making of this
Yeah.
film.
In Beaks, they must have had no. They couldn't have had that. No birds were harmed.
Well,
if they,
they can't do it in the Real Birds. He actually in the Real Birds movie with Hitchcock, he actually had real birds attack the girl and stuff, and that
of course
was
he did, because he was a jerk to all those
and-
actors.
no, 'cause he
especially to Tippi Hedren.
yes, because he hated Tippi Hedren because he didn't originally want Tippi Hedren. He wanted somebody else, and they couldn't do it, and so he had a contract with her. So he was
Doesn't
like, you know,
excuse him being a jerk
I'm
to
not
her.
saying I'm not excusing him
if I watch
whatsoever.
that again, either the harming animals thing wasn't in effect in that time period, or it was not adhered to.
No, I think they weren't harmed. The Tippi Hedren was harmed.
No,
They
I'm
all
talking
like
about the credit at
I've
the
actually
end.
never seen the birds.
it's great. It's a
Pretty
great
good
movie,
It's
but
classic.
It's one of
I
Hitchcock's
did see
upper
The
films.
Happening. I feel like that was.
no, that's not anything close.
Oh no, I think it was in the same. In
The
the same
Fappening
vein
was.
Of, oh my lantern.
Isn't that like trees like killing
No,
people?
yeah, it was. It was plants. But I remember my mom had a DVD of 3 terrible movies, and I think one of them was like The Birds or Birdemic or something.
Maybe
Birdemic.
Yeah,
The
it was
Birds
like-
is like one of the more esteemed films.
Yeah, it was like The Happening, something about birds, and then a third one that I cannot remember.
It's probably like The Mist or something.
Well,
one of
we
those.
all know that
was.
Tippi
Yeah.
Hedren was
'Cause that's in that
simply
same time period,
using
yeah, I think,
Hitchcock
yeah.
and the Birds as a stepping stone to her real masterpiece, which was the naked lesbian werewolf dance movie that we
I'm
saw.
sorry.
Remember? Grr, grr.
Yeah, the werewolf. I forgot what that. I wanted to
You
forget
have to
that.
see that one.
Oh boy.
Grr. Interpretive dance. Naked lesbian interpretive
I keep
dance
wanting to call it Miss Werewolf, but
movie.
that's the other movie. So
Yeah.
And who's in this?
Yeah, Tippi Hedren's in it.
Hedren's in that?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Tippi Hedren's in that one.
Yeah, and
to say she was like-
full circle here, Kane Hodder's in it, and you see his butt. Remember? So talking about beefcake and talking about Kane
And
Hodder.
Kane Hodder from earlier from the
Rotten
other.
hotter ass.
And
There
the
you
chick
go.
from Entourage that we both
Tippi
liked.
Hedren's still alive? That's cool.
Yes.
She's
Yeah.
94.
Yep, she's awesome.
She's
One of the other girls,
Minnesota.
one of the other ones that he's worked with, lived to be I think 100 already. I think
Is
she's
that Eva Marie Saint?
Eva Marie Saint. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice.
So they've Dark Wolf.
Dark Wolf, yes, you must watch Dark Wolf. It is so much fun.
Oh, was Tippi Hedren in The Sound of Music?
I don't know. I blocked that from my memory.
I
Awful.
love that. No,
I
no, never mind. She just looks like.
I
her
was
person.
forced to watch that as a child and hated it.
Oh, that's right. Tippi Hedren was, and I remember her briefly in it. Like she was not in it for very long. I
Dark
don't
Wolf?
think. Dark Wolf.
Yeah, she was the one who kept all the knowledge and was always in the alley, and the girl
Yeah.
fed her stuff.
Yeah,
and
no, that character.
she knew about the secret werewolf that was trying to mate and turn them all into uber werewolves.
As you do.
As you do.
That's the thing.
And she had the gun, and she refused to shoot them, even though they were killing people. And she's like, "Just shoot." No,
No, I can't do
I
it.
can't do it. Do it. But if you do, it ends the movie. So
Roll credits.
yeah.
Roll
You'll have to show you
credits.
Dark
Roll
Wolf.
credits.
It's ridiculous. But this
Without hesitation.
this movie is also ridiculous too, but in a more fun kind of way. I think it's sort of, by the time the backpacks are established, it pretty much knows what it is and kind of goes for it. I just wish there was a little bit more.
I was kind of worried because you said like it goes off in a different direction, which you meant the serial killer
Yes.
stuff, right?
Yes.
And I thought you meant like there would be no killer backpacks in this movie.
No,
I would have
no,
been
no.
so mad if it pulled one of those things
I
where
was
it's like
not a
Attack
bait
of
and
the
switch movie.
Killer. Yeah, oh yeah, you're the one who hates those.
No. Yeah, I hate that.
Honestly, we can say this. The serial killer thing would not have existed. That whole entire plot line would not have existed if Klausy could keep it in his pants.
True
I
enough.
mean, do you think really that's it? That set her
Yeah,
off. Period.
Because you remember earlier, she mentioned the name, and then the guy was like, "That's in the past. I only love you, baby." And then it was like later on, it's like, "We found the body. It's," and then it was that same person's name.
Yep.
Of course, he said that in German, so it was like.
I'm sorry, Germany.
Sorry, that may not
That was
have been real.
Paul, not Ramaki.
That
who
may
said
not
that.
have been real
No,
German.
that was definitely my voice. That bass. That's
No.
all me. That's all me.
It's almost
Yeah.
like though that this other serial killer movie thing could have been its own little entity. almost.
Right, and that's kind of when I first watched this was a little bit more disappointed because again, I thought they were juggling too many balls. I wish they had kept the one ball in their hands and was squeezing that one as opposed to trying to squeeze
Too many
two.
balls, Germany. Less
many
balls.
balls.
If they would have put the backpack stuff, interspersed it a little bit more in the first half of the film, but then that causes a really odd tonal shift.
I mean, you could have a whole thing with kids in a school bus, and all of a sudden they start going after the kids, and the kids have to run off the bus.
I guess I'm like, the reason why I wish we knew more about the backpacks is because you could have woven those two plots together a lot better if you had any sort of, because you figure out the entire origin of this serial killer. You figure out the what, the why, the where, the when.
Here's the thing. If she had been psychically connected to the backpacks and utilized them as her minions to go out and destroy the world.
Oh my god! But
I
that
was
just would have been a whole
thinking-
different movie.
Well, no, I
Are
was
we doing like a
thinking, like,
Colonel
what if they
Proctor from Halloween
absorbed-
3? It's like an overseer that's playing a big joke on everybody and just send some possessive item into the backpacks.
I
Yeah.
just think it would have been cool if like the backpacks had like absorbed intent and her hatred was just so like burning thousands hotter than 1,000 suns kind of hatred, and they were like, oh yeah, and then they go and like kill everybody that she hates, and then they had actually been the serial
Or they
killers.
come up to her like, mother.
Yeah,
direct this.
exactly. Like it,
Mother.
if
That
it
would be
covered
funny.
up all of her
Mother of the
murders,
backpacks.
If it covered up all her,
Mother of all backpacks.
Or, hear me out, if she had actually, because nobody actually knows what she does other than she's married, right? Nobody talks about her job or anything. The other lady talked about her job. Everybody talked about their jobs. This lady was unemployed. So what if she had been, like, what I would have done personally, if I were the director or the writer, both. I would have been like, okay, she's actually like a microbiologist or something, and she like pulls something out of the Arctic ice and remakes it, but she puts it in her backpack, and then they all think
that's where I was going with the
that
H3 stuff.
they all think it's like the backpack is like how hermit crabs find a shell kind of thing, and they're just like, yeah, well, biologically this is written now. This is what I woke up in. This is what I'm going to biologically do. I'm going to take all the backpacks, but then they're all psychically linked to her because she is mother of all backpacks. So then she sends it out to kill every woman that her husband cheated on her with. And then, they're like, oh, it's definitely just the backpacks. We don't know when or how they happened. Super bad. Why is it going after only women? Oh no, now it's going after everyone. Because she's just like, you know what? Actually,
Kill everyone.
screw everyone.
Yeah.
Everybody in this town gotta die. And then, like, she finds the last one, the one that got away. She corners this girl. She's like, actually, it's me. And, like, opens the door and all the backpacks come rushing in past her. Like, I think that would have been hilarious.
Or she could have been a paleontologist who goes on adventure and finds the dinosaur remains of a previously extinct backpack race. And brings the last one out of the ice, and it melts. And it starts to reproduce itself.
I was just thinking of something simplistic. You guys are coming up with these weird,
These elaborate.
There is a rich
schemes.
vein of creativity here.
Backpack.
For me, I was just thinking something simple, like she was the creator of the double stitching that happens in backpacks, and these were all the reject, like the defective toys. These were all the old backpacks that they just sort of combined together to become some force,
Right,
some
but
entity.
and therein lies my point, is that there could have been more that was put into this, and
Well-
it kind of wasn't.
So yeah, with
lore
Killer
of the
Condom, when that happened, there was some, like, a lot of it was just kind of similar to this, where it was a lot of boring talk about other things that was going on that had nothing to do with the killer condoms. And we were at one point just looking at each other going, where are the killer condoms? Like, what's going on? Why don't we see these anymore?
And that's one of the strengths of Attack of the Killer Donuts, because those donuts are attacking people all the time throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
You don't miss the donuts because they're hopping around with their little teethy donut faces and going after people, going hee, and that's great. Have you seen it? You definitely need to see that.
It's silly. It's silly.
adorable.
But yeah,
Adorable.
it is adorable.
Is adorable the right
Yes.
word?
No, it is. It's adorable.
When I saw it, I wasn't thinking adorable. I was thinking these are mean little suckers.
I mean,
Adorable, I guess, is a different
And
word.
fattening.
They're killing you one way or the other.
And see Thomas Howell's in it.
Oh, there you go.
that's right.
I'm not sure who that is.
Outsiders.
He was in the original Hitcher, Outsiders, TV show
haven't seen that.
Southland.
He's an 80s
About 5 years
actor.
ago.
He's an 80s actor.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in a movie that was sort of very bad representation.
He's the lesser
And,
Eric Roberts.
He did a movie called.
He's not quite
he did
Eric
a movie
Roberts.
called Soul Man, where he went into college. And
Oh, God.
And he went into college.
Forgot about that.
But he doused. This is not him. It's his character, but he covered himself in blackface and everything like that to portray a black student.
Yeah, that movie did not age well.
That's not a reflection on C. Thomas Howell. That's a reflection of the time.
But it's funny because a lot of black actors have come out since then and defended him and said, this was a role for him that it was given at the time, and that's your job is to be an actor, and
you've
they
seen E.T.,
chose
right?
him.
He was in E.T. He was the friend. He was the older brother's friend.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, there's something big.
The problem was that it was just a bad movie.
He was in
I saw
Bigfoot Wars. That's
No
it.
good.
We got
oh,
it.
God, Bigfoot Wars.
Speaking
Yes.
of ET, though, I'm glad that the guy who played the kid is still acting. He's been in like Haunting of Hill
Oh, yeah,
House
Henry
and
Thomas,
all that.
yeah.
We met a number of them at Scares That Care.
Wow.
I met Dee Wallace,
Yeah,
the mom in E.T.
We hung out with a while and was talking with was it Robert?
Robert McNaughton.
McNaughton, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because him and Dee Wallace was there, and Henry Thomas was there. Remember they did at Scares That Care. They did the karaoke. They
Yeah.
were all singing together. It was kind
I
of
loved it. But when I walked
No
up
Drew
to
Barrymore, though.
I walked up to Dee, I was friends with her daughter because of a mutual Jackie is friends with Gabrielle Stone. And so I went up and I was going to say, "Hi, I'm Jonathan." And the first thing she says to me is like, "Hello, handsome." And I was like, that caught me off guard, like
As
completely.
opposed to what Tiny Lister said, which is, get away from me, you jerk.
Get away from me while I'm eating, which he was not happy with me bothering him while I didn't mean to
I
bother.
been the same way.
I-
I'm not gonna lie. I would be that person who's
I'm
like,
sure
I'm eating, go away.
He probably had a backpack attack him earlier and
Yeah.
put him in a bad mood.
You know what? That happens. It happens to the
Happens.
best of us.
That's why you have to hire sidekicks and entourages to
You
keep the
you
backpacks
have
away.
This is
the,
why you should
a
always
backpack
have
bodyguard.
fun.
Backpack bodyguard. There's a movie.
I think I'm going to take a second look tomorrow before I put my laptop in my backpack before I get out of the house.
I don't blame you. These things are vicious when they want to be, especially when they're clearly roving in packs, right? They're pack attack creatures.
I've got
Their backpacks, packs.
I've unfortunately.
Backpacks. That's right.
Well, fortunately, my only wounds and stuff are
Backpack,
backpacks.
pack attack.
The zippers caught my finger a few times and cut it.
And it happened to her
Yep.
too.
Yep,
Really?
exactly.
And we just didn't
Well, yeah,
see
she was sitting there
realize
going like
it.
this. She was like, she kept looking at her finger that one time.
And remember the one guy when she's in the car early on and he's like crossing the street and he's like starts punching his backpack and we're
Starts
like,
kicking it and
what the hell's the guy doing?
He's just real mad at his backpack, Daddy.
Just think if somebody was off in the wood, like off in the distance, and saw them filming this. It shows somebody just going to start kicking.
they didn't see the camera crew, but they saw the dude just kicking.
I do love when people will take a fun idea and will stretch it out.
Yeah.
I mentioned Killer Bra. That was a cute short film. I would love to have seen it be a full movie too, but in this case, I just don't think they had
Killer Bra.
that
Yeah.
writer was able to do
Did it
that.
get like too tight on people and just?
It killed people. It was gone from one person to the next.
It like flew like the
It was
backpack.
adorable.
open
I
the
loved
strap
it.
and be like,
Yeah, it was
game
cute.
over.
It was cute.
You guys are cute and adorable for these
I
movies.
can't help it. I love little odd creatures that just.
I mean,
it just makes me
I think
happy.
I think Chucky is cute. I think anything small, I would. If I saw Chucky for real, I'd be, oh, come here, give me a hug.
I'll give you a hug.
I laugh all the time when I see it because like there's in Child's Play #1, there's that scene where she's like holding him and then he like turns and like makes it, he's like, "Hey, you stupid bitch." I'm like, dude, just punt him. Like, like you don't need to like
Pun him like was it Dr. Evil, little evil guy in
yeah,
Powers?
exactly.
But I always love movies that have odd little monsters like that. I love the killer bed, the bed that eats. There's one called the
not
killer
little, though. That's not
refrigerator.
little, though.
There's the chair.
The killer chair, killer
rubber?
couch. You mean? Killer
Rubber. Well, no, there's another one that's a
Rubber.
chair.
The tire.
Yeah, rubber. But killer couch is another one. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of these kind of movies that
you know-
we're all going to do.
You know what would be a cool concept is killer glasses.
Like
You know,
yours?
Well, they are killer. But think about this, right? Killer glasses. You put them on and they make you just see all sorts of insane stuff.
That's the
And
only way
then-
they live almost.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, they
But
live.
that was to see aliens. That's the only thing.
That's the only way they could see the aliens that were
But
alive.
to your point,
But
you
yeah.
the story would be that they
It
would
just psychic damage.
change your.
There was even a movie called The Telephone where if you answered the phone could kill you. It was
Oh,
really
976 Evil.
weird. That too.
Yeah.
That was another one.
I was,
I'm just thinking of all the little memes that could come from this type of movie and stuff like that. Because I mean, I remember the memes that somebody saw. What was it? They were in like a Costco or something like that, and they had a good guys doll case, but it was empty inside. And the meme was this ain't going to end well.
there was a movie called Clown, and the guy put on a clown outfit and turned into a killer. So he turned into a killer clown.
And don't forget, remember Sam Raimi also did some fun stuff with this in the
Army of Darkness?
Army of Darkness, but before that in what was the one before that?
Evil Dead
Evil
2?
Dead 2. where the books attack at one point, and then the moose head and other objects.
Yeah,
kinda go
it got
after
even crazier in the Army of Darkness. They just went all out on
them.
that.
Or the
one.
Joe Piscopo movie where they're in the
Oh, Dead
Chinese
Heat.
restaurant and all the food comes to life and attacks
Oh,
them.
I don't think that's
Wow.
the
It is adorable. So you have like a headless
Adorable
chicken.
killer
Yeah, like
Chinese food.
these headless cooked ducks come after you, and, and it is great. It's just so much fun. I like inventive, interesting movies like that. Movies that'll take a chance.
I wanna see
Poultrygeist.
something unhinged.
Poultrygeist.
I want to see more unhinged stuff, like like killer nail polish. I don't know, something like
Great.
something wild.
Full Moon does a lot of Ginger Dead Man.
The thing is, you could do this cheaply. You could do like killer cardboard boxes. I mean, there's cardboard boxes everywhere, and just have them like envelop people.
Killer
Evil
photo ticket.
Bong. Like
Bong.
there's Evil Bong. There's a Bong that. But
Evil Bong.
the problem is the Evil Bong isn't scary.
No,
he
it's a
just
420.
it's just like you smoke it and then it'll like make you hallucinate and whatever. But and it talks to you. Or
That's
whatever.
like-
When you're
that's-
stoned, everything is funny.
That's like when I was saying earlier about Steve Rudzinski would like this because it's like
Carousel.
Yeah, because that's what carousel is. It's a carousel horse that's going around.
It goes around and kills people.
Kills people and it does other things to people.
And I
too.
think there's also a
It's true.
killer dress movie as well, where it's like a vampire, and then if you put it on, it actually will suck your blood. And
Oh, that's kind of cool though.
that is cool, and that was actually not done for funnies. It was actually done seriously. I forget the name of it. It's another foreign film, but if I find it, I'll have to dig it up because I haven't seen it in a while.
Gotta go on that subreddit.
You're
You're gonna get into some of that with the Thanksgiving type of stuff too.
Oh yeah, I get to watch Thanksgiving for the first
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're gonna love it. Trust me.
time.
Unless you're a coffee drinker, in case there's a scene.
I'm not a coffee drinker.
There-
I
there's-
am, and I was not happy.
It hurts my tummy.
Well,
I'm not
it'll
brave
it'll
about
hurt
it.
your tummy what you see.
There's
that they do
a certain scene that if you love coffee, it's going to spoil your coffee. So
I was not
So
happy.
people who are coffee addicts we should recommend instead of going to like
You're gonna
some
be
sort
triggered.
of therapy or anything like
Yeah,
that
it's
to
like
get
behavioral therapy.
show them that movie. Maybe you'll get. I'm down to 2 cups a day.
there you go.
You
That'll
put like
do it.
like it's Clockwork Orange. You put their like eyes open and make them watch it
I'm not
over
going
and
to
over
say what
again.
it is so that it doesn't spoil it for you, but trust me, you're going to be. If you're not a coffee drinker, it's one thing, but if you are,
Yeah, 'cause
Let's just say that was all I could talk about on when we did the podcast.
Because it doesn't. That didn't trigger me, but I can see how it would trigger somebody.
It
Yeah.
triggered
Enjoy your
me.
weird bean juice, I guess.
I love my weird bean juice.
I know. But the thing is, you could do anything if you're inventive enough. You could do a killer tablecloth. That'd be fun.
With this tablecloth that has like Halloween characters, and
Yeah,
all,
but,
they
like,
would all
all
just
the-
pop up and come alive and start running around.
But
would
all
be
the
cute.
blush is just
Yeah, it would be
slightly
cute.
too far to the right. There.
Well, and the thing is, there's an example of a movie who, like
Little 2-inch
Maku points
werewolf
out,
guy walking
doesn't bother to explain why. It just lets it go, and you're okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even care. I was just like, killer backpacks. They're killing people.
Because otherwise, you have to do like the Sci-Fi Channel, where they do those dumb movies where they come up with fake science to explain this, and it always sounds stupid. So if you don't have a real explanation, then just let it go. It's okay.
Well, I mean, and when they do that, it's usually because they have to figure out a way to stop it, right? So they have to use science to stop it, generally.
Science!
Well, they didn't. Science.
Yeah.
But they didn't really have anything no way of stopping it, no way of explaining where it came from or where it was going. It's just we got an hour and 18 minutes of the life in that world.
I kind of also wish they had enough money that they could have done things like, a tank firing at the backpacks, or a machine gun, or a helicopter, surface-to-air missiles,
I agree. It could have been
what would they shoot at? The whole city?
an hour and a
a
half.
cloud of them.
Yeah. It could have been an hour and a half, and they could have had the other creatures start coming to life or whatever. Like, we don't even need to know why, but all of a sudden, purses and luggage and everything just starts going, ah, 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 ah. Can you, imagine that?
Or you could take a scene from Killer Tomatoes, because remember, there's that one part where the one guy dresses up like a tomato to infiltrate the tomato group to try and listen in on their plans.
I don't know how you
What?
could dress up
They
like a
did
luggage.
They
Or
did this in Dungeon Meshi, though. They did this. They killed the creatures and they wore their skin, and then they didn't get attacked because they were part of the biome.
There you go.
Like, how would you dress up as a backpack?
I know. I don't know.
Maybe like
That-
a big duffel bag.
That would be a
Duffel
great
bag, and
Halloween costume.
You have to write on there, "I'm a backpack."
Okay,
have
but
to-
if we dress up as killer backpacks from this film, we have to be super obnoxious about it. during Halloween and be like, obviously, I'm a killer backpack from this year film, this 2006
That's right.
film.
Didn't you
right.
see the German film?
Like,
My
wow.
goodness.
Don't call yourself cultured if you don't know this thing.
Clearly, you're not a filmophile.
Yeah,
You're not a cinephile if you
Yeah,
haven't
they-
seen this
Nope.
movie.
They couldn't have really ended this film though in any way because they didn't, and I don't think that was their intention. There's no science to start it or stop it. They'd have to get rid of every fabric that made a backpack.
I
Maybe,
think
don't know.
mankind is doomed. This was God's judgment on humanity by sending backpacks in order to kill everyone.
Backpackalopolis.
Yep, backpackalopolis.
So is this just a spin-off of like all the other like we get like the shark world and stuff like that? So this is just
Sharks versus backpack.
Is this like those inanimate object that attacks us? That is that whole subgenre. Of,
You know what would have
Backpack shark.
You know what would have fixed their appetite? Is that apocalyptic babies from hell thing?
Zombie babies from hell, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have fixed the food shortage situation these backpacks were obviously having.
But, Candy Pickles from Hot Chicks Blast Uranus, she would have saved the day for us.
Oh, you're so
Of course.
good. You're so valid.
That's true.
Yep, that would have worked.
So did this movie give you? Is this the expected response you got?
I think
from
so.
Your audience.
I think so. It was goofy, does have some stink to it, but hopefully I was glad that there was enough to keep you guys interested. I'm glad you guys did some laughing. That was
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
good.
And this was this your second time seeing it or more than that?
Oh, I've seen it a few times. I've shown Gary. I've shown other folks.
Gary probably really enjoyed it.
Yeah, he liked it.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's just, it
Your-
was
your
on my
adorable
list.
References.
I know, like, when John Ward gets on me about it because I say, "Oh, that was cute," and he goes, "That movie was cute." I wouldn't call that movie
I don't know
cute.
what he would have thought of this.
He probably would. I don't think he would have. I don't know.
What about Dustin? Has he seen it?
No, but I don't know. I'll
He's
have to
seen
ask.
just about everything.
Yeah, he sees a lot of movies that I didn't know he sees, so I'll ask.
All right, see what he says. Well,
Yep.
we have arrived at that time where we have to start talking about our scores. So, the Stinkometer. This is where we take a 1 to 10 score, by which the lower the number, the better the movie is. The higher the number, the stinkier the movie is. And while we love our stinky movies here at Indie Film Cafe, usually the higher score means that there's a lot of problems, technical problems, acting problems, story problems, problems. But then we take our three scores, we add up the numbers, and then we look on the ladder, think, and see where this movie happens to land this season. So,
Okay.
I guess we have to decide who is going to be
Well,
judging.
definitely
Ramaku's definitely
Ramaku.
You three, it's fine.
Okay.
So you guys are the two.
That was the original.
stabilizing force, standard
Yeah.
force.
I think you should go first.
Well, so mine doesn't count towards you guys.
But you can still score.
Okay.
Well, okay. Well, I could go.
What the
Okay.
heck just happened? Oh, I lost. Well, I mean, it's working still, but I don't think it's coming from here.
It's red. I see it blinking right here.
What does that mean?
Oh my gosh, it's muted.
Are you hearing us?
Oh. And yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, who would like to score the film first?
I will volunteer.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay. Based on the fact that there was a plot, based on the fact that there was good acting, and the cinematography was not awful, I don't think it was very stinky at all. I would put it at a 6.
Okay.
Okay. Not bad. Not bad.
What about you, Joe?
Well, I know my score is sort of extra, but
But-
I told you earlier how much I love the music. It was all right, okay. I mean, it wasn't bad. I was thinking the exact same number, 6.
Hey,
Oh
So
God.
honestly, it doesn't matter. It's your pick. So, but yeah, I say 6.0.
we are allied.
Yes. So,
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I don't want to put it any higher than that 'cause it's not stinky.
It
I
might
mean,
be
it's,
the lowest I've ever rated
yeah.
something on this
and
show.
I
Might have been.
I think
I don't know. Jesus Christ, I can't speak. The
Hot Chicks
Hot
Blast Uranus.
Chicks Blaster. How did you know what I
I'm
was going to
pretty sure
say?
I put that at like a 7.
Okay.
Could be.
But
All right.
I think this movie successfully tried to do what it wanted to do. And on that note, and it wasn't trying to be Citizen Kane. It wasn't trying to be something.
Citizen Case.
Yeah, it's
Citizen
like I
book
said,
backpack.
it's not trying to change the world, but it was enjoyable for what it is, and that's where it goes.
Okay.
All right, what do you got? I'm gonna go last. 'Cause,
Okay. I kind of, agree with you guys. I'm probably going to go with a 5. I did like it. I love the inventiveness of it. I love all the stuff that you talked about. I do wish more things had been followed up on it. This could have been even better. However, for what it was,
However.
this was kind of a fun movie for me. And usually we meh is kind of how we look at some films. That's not the case in this. This was a decent film. It's just that it happened to have a few things that weren't quite as good, and that's where it ends up for me. So a 5.
All right. Well, interestingly enough, my first thought in my head was 4.
Nice.
And just because I sort of enjoyed it. It was a nice movie. Like it wasn't
Nice.
It wasn't.
The German didn't bother you?
No, because the subtitles. Like if it were just German and I could understand anything.
And we
people
could
were
read
saying.
these. You noticed it was white.
And it was white. Like I could read it, but the problem was people did go a little fast.
They did.
There was
So-
a few misspellings in it too.
Oh,
I was
there
just
were a
like-
bunch of
I was
those.
I caught it.
I go upstairs now.
I go upstairs now. Yeah.
In glass, it was missing the second S, and there was little things here and there, and it was just like,
Well, maybe they're
Adds
doing
to
the
the
German
charm.
glass for.
it
you know.
adds to the charm.
Adds to the
There
charm.
you go. I
It
mean,
does.
So I don't know.
You can't
like-
expect these backpacks to learn perfect
I
English.
did find it charming. It was a charming movie. I enjoyed it. And like, would I watch this again? Probably. Out of all of Paul's movies that he tries to torture me with, this isn't torture. This is like, all right, I could watch this. 78 minutes long. Like that's just perfect.
Perfect. Yes.
It's a
Anything
good-
longer would
it's
have
a
been.
good time.
now,
Yeah.
general question though, before you wrap it up for this, would the film been any better if it was dubbed in English? Would it be more enjoyable?
No, I
Or
don't-
you think the novelty of it
Only
being
if it
from a
was
different-
poorly dubbed.
Poorly done might have been fun,
being,
but
being that it was a different country's film. I mean, it's their film, so don't dub it because I know that gets more of an American audience. Unfortunately,
If you're going to set it in America, yeah, you're going to have to dub it. That's the
that's
thing.
what happened with Killer Condom.
They didn't do that, which has made it jarring. But since this is in Germany, Berlin, I assume, it's perfectly normal for them to be speaking German.
Uh-huh.
So
how you see movies nowadays and stuff like that, and it's like there's no way that they would, especially historical films. Why are they speaking English? And it's solely for the fact of it being for an American consumption.
Right.
But even then, we've actually begun to kind of dip from that because you look at movies like Prey and it has the Comanche dub, and there's a team that recently made an entire Lakota dub for Avengers: Infinity War.
Nice.
And I don't know if you guys remember the movie Lola Run.
Oh, I love
Run,
that.
Lola,
That was a really
Run.
good one. Now, of course, I have to think that Lola's running from the backpacks.
Yeah, and the one time when the one girl was running, it kind of did have a little bit of the music even resembled it a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, because I just saw that a couple months ago.
Good movie.
It had it in the theaters, a re-release because it was in.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know
It was
that.
like its 25th or 30th
Yay.
anniversary, so it's like, so I got to see that on the big screen again. I remember seeing it when its initial run, but
Run. There you go.
that was not intended, but it works just the same.
There
But
you
yeah.
go.
Well, I mean, I
So
enjoy
is that
movie
your
like
number
this.
then? 4?
Yeah, 4.
you got
Okay.
4
So
or
it's
5
4, 5, and 6. Wow. So,
Okay.
There you go.
Very
Perfect.
nice.
15.
15?
But
15.
but like you guys said, it's 15 in the middle, but it's not 15 like blah in the
Right.
middle.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
like,
It's
what
definitely
was?
not blocked.
I think it's a 5.5 on the.
It is
IMDb.
cute. That's a good
I
movie.
wouldn't complain entirely about watching it again at some point in the future, but I would need like a cool down timer.
Like
about
a
it.
year or two or
Yeah.
something.
Would you
know?
show like some of your other movie friends this?
Yeah, I think so.
See, so Ramaku, whenever she was on our show, like for Zoom, she would show her friends this while before we would all review it together. And so your friends are used to us picking out
Like, what the hell did you dig up these guys?
What was the one movie you had? I think you were at my
Reflections of
house.
Evil?
Reflections
Yeah,
of Evil.
I think it was like a werewolf type one or like a something scientists, and I remember it being dark. It was like maybe aliens. I don't remember what it was, but one of the ones that we watched where it was like terrible, and then they put all of their budget into the visuals of this alien ship.
Oh, the Alien Prophecy
Yeah.
one?
Alien
Yeah.
Prophecy. Okay.
Yeah, we all watched that one, and it just became like a fun little time.
We
And that's
were-
kind of the point of these.
Yeah, and I hated that because I hated that movie, and I thought it was going to be a 30 with you guys, and you and Mackenzie were like, "This is not a bad movie." Like,
Bad movie.
That was a bad movie. I have to
That's-
agree, but it was fun.
It was fun.
It was a fun bad
I don't
movie.
think that movies are bad if you have fun with it.
I think they can still be
They
bad
could definitely be fun
and be bad
bad.
and be fun.
Think
Like,
not
yeah.
as bad as like say if you didn't have fun and they were just visually.
I am not going to talk to you while you have a machete in your
It's
hand.
a plastic machete.
You could still hurt somebody with
The thing
that.
is that some people's fun
So
is
what I
not
think,
with
yeah.
everybody's fun. Like I thought Barn of the Blood Llama was a lot of fun, though it is stinky. You didn't have fun with it. I
I hate
enjoyed
that
it.
movie.
I know.
Barn of the Blood.
It's evil llamas spitting radioactive cud. How could you not love that? Moody.
Was that cute?
And it's the
adorable as
best
well?
movie ever made in Dripping Springs, Texas.
That's okay. All right.
And
you
that's
know
a
what?
real place,
You know
by
what?
the way.
I believe you. I believe
You know, there's probably, I'm calling out this. There's got to be something else, anything else that would rival that. At least give it a run. There's probably a second movie. That's been
From Dripping Springs, Texas.
We'll
I
have
think
to-
so.
We'll have to
That's
take
very
a day
specific.
and
It is
have
very
we'll have some of
specific.
you folks who haven't seen some of the other movies just to have you there so you can experience it. Like I would love to hear Ramaku's take on Fungicide. And you too, Joe. You've not seen that one, so I'm dying to show that to you. I like to show that one to
I don't know.
everyone.
Don't underestimate him. He's seen movies that
That's
I'm like,
true.
what the hell? Because he finds them on Tubi and he just watches them. And
Those are fun. They're weird, but they're fun.
so, How Chicks Blast Uranus? We gave it a 12
There you
on
go.
the Slatter
That was well
Stink. Should have probably done the other one.
Are you looking for all the ones that I have rated in the past?
Yeah, like I'm looking at all the different. Well, I'm also looking at what is it? The movies that have like killer donuts or killer whatever.
I think I've done what, 1 or 2 tens maybe. I haven't done a whole lot of tens.
Well, the ones I remember are Geek Maggot Bingo.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That's because it deserves it.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was definitely a 30.
I
there was
give it-
no
I give it-
geeks, no maggot, and no bingos.
You know, I give it an 11 if it was possible.
Actually, these days it might be possible because we're letting people do silly
You
stuff
weren't
these
there for Hip
days.
Hop Locos, though, were you?
No.
Oh my God, that is the worst so far.
Well, it doesn't go to 11. We allow it to be a
Yeah.
10 plus.
10 plus,
you know?
yeah.
I mean,
Because the number will throw off the math.
and there's
Yeah.
a few movies I've seen on the Fridays one that
Oh, the What the Fuck
would
Fridays?
probably be tens if they were in this this group.
I know Wonton Ton very
yeah,
much
yeah,
offended you because the dog tried to commit suicide by sticking his head in the oven.
Yep.
Yeah, see,
Yeah, that's a terrible.
that,
Oh, thank
that,
you.
that- I almost got up
Madeline
and walked
Kahn.
out. That was close. I was close.
Wow.
And that was a Hollywood production.
So Attack of the Killer Donuts got a 2 by all of us.
There
Me,
you
you,
go.
and Liz.
And then there was
So,
the
six.
janitor-
That's a fun movie.
The janitor was up there too.
Attack of the Killer Chickens. They
Yep,
did that.
Attack
we
of the
did
Killer
that.
Chickens. That was fun.
He picks all these Attack of the.
They're
you know.
perfect. They're wonderful movies. I love them.
Yeah. Reflections of
season-
Evil. You gave it a 10.
I'm surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, you give it
I
a
don't remember
10.
what it was about. I think I must have watched it from my memory on purpose.
See, I think what it is, they try to find, because they know for me, it's like, can they hit that moral line? And there's like a couple things. It's like, if I see it in the film, I'm like, no, that's it. The ship sailed on the film at that point.
Don't hurt the dog.
Yeah.
That's-
And you know what? One of my favorite movies has a dog getting killed in it, and it still hurts.
And
to
you
sound
could have
like
had that
Halloween.
here. You could have had a dog be swallowed up by one of the bags, but they chose not to do
Actually,
that.
it's
Thank
Halloween.
God.
It's
The
Halloween.
Schnauzer.
Halloween, yeah. Actually, he kills one in Halloween and Halloween 2, if I remember correctly.
Wow. So, because we're only up because we're not caught up because I'm an idiot and just can't, get shit done. We're not caught up on everything, but yeah, I think was Attack of the. So, what did you give Blast Uranus? Biker Warrior Babes. Paul
pretty
gave it an
stinky.
8. I
That's
gave it a
one-
9.5. And you gave it
yeah.
a 7.
I think that's one where you wanted to give it a lower number afterwards.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
I loved it. And
And
that dude liked our review. He
Yeah.
was
He
cool
came
with
on
it.
our show. He actually became a reviewer for a couple
Oh, that's
episodes.
cool.
He okay. So
He's a nice guy.
I didn't tag him or anything, but I think I tagged like the movie and stuff or whatever on Indie Film Cafe, and because he runs the movie site, he contacted or he liked it, and so I was like, oh god.
I think he was
And then-
pleased that
and
we
he
found it.
Yeah, and then he
Yeah.
said something nice about like, thank you for the review. This
So he
was
liked it because
really-
you gave it some publicity.
Oh, and also we gave it a bad review. He
And-
loved
and-
us
and
giving
he
it a
wanted
bad
to-
review. Like
So that's one of the times that a bad review actually came. And
well,
didn't
because
cause trouble.
he's cool about
Because
it.
Although-
other times you've done bad reviews and alienated.
Although
some
in
people,
that one,
or people
while
took
I
offense to
while
it.
I talked about it being bad, I also mentioned many times how fun it was.
Yeah.
So
I mean-
I think that's that dulls the
The
stab.
sting a little
Yeah.
bit, yeah. So let's see, what other ones did you do? Either of you, because the janitor was the one you didn't like either. You had a big problem with that. You gave it a 7.5 out
It's
of,
not that bad.
and we gave it a
I
4.
only gave it a 7.5.
You only gave it a 7.5. Did you want to
you
give it
have
more?
regrets again?
You have regrets.
I'm just considering what happened with the
You didn't like it.
ejaculation and
Oh.
and the person drinking it.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
pick this back up.
See that
Right into a backpack. It was
Oh,
amazing.
but you didn't like Angel's Descent. That was also another one you
Oh.
gave
But see,
out.
that was
Oh,
offensive
that
in
was
other
bad.
I mean, it was offensive in a bad movie. It was also offensive
In the Christian
because
culture.
if you're trying to be religious in a film, and I'm not going to try to alienate people for their faith and stuff like that, but if you're trying to come forward as a faithful prophet in a film, you got to be true to it, not condescending and not fake. And when you're fake to it, whatever your beliefs are,
But
you got to be true to it.
it was great because the people who distributed the film actually tagged our review and stuff. So and they said, and I think they took a quote from us that was bad to get people to go and watch, people buy it.
Yeah,
because
we have been quoted on other shows and on other sites.
we were quoted on what is it? Hey, Stop Stabbing Me, when the people who were big company put out the
Indie
the
Film
disc.
Cafe says.
And it was Paul's thing on his on indiefilmcafe.reviews. He reviewed it, whatever he said something. So they actually quoted Paul, but they didn't say Paul Presenza, but they said Indie Film Cafe says this.
That was fun.
It was neat. I when I saw that, because I forgot who it was, but somebody said, I think it was Dustin. Somebody messaged me and was like, "Hey, you're quoted in this. You guys are quoted in this."
Which is great because sometimes it feels like we're shouting into the void here with some of our movies. But but then you pointed out,
She's sitting there like this, say something negative about something here. I'm ready.
like the one Succubus movie we did got a whole bunch of
Exactly.
reviews simply
Yeah.
because very few people had ever talked about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So if a movie that nobody talks about, nobody whatever, like this movie, I don't think this gets a lot of attention,
I don't think so.
and stuff. And so we like those things. We like finding movies that nobody's ever heard of.
Red Letter Media hasn't done it. Mystery Science Theater hasn't done it. Rift Tracks.
But there's some movies like this movie here. If you say something and they don't have a good sense of humor about it, in a lot of ways, I mean, what you're making Attack of the Killer backpacks. I mean, come on, come on. I mean, really, okay,
Shakespeare's rolling over in his grave. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. So
I'm trying to think, what else did you? I guess that was it for that.
Janitor was terrible.
Yeah.
But our buddy Larry Butler was in it.
He was
so,
okay. He wasn't the problem. Not at all.
Which one? The janitor? Oh yeah, the janitor. He was in that. Yeah. What else? I'm trying to look up other.
Well, I think we could probably go over them on another.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Time to
right.
wrap it up.
You need to have a board just somewhere and just have it up here.
We did
you
used
just
to.
have the boards, and then at that point, then it's like easy reference. Point.
Well, we don't have a lot of. We're running out of room, but at some point we are going to pack up the studio and have to move to another building. It just we haven't.
And
gotten to
hopefully
that
it'll be a
point
bigger
yet.
building.
Yeah, it should be.
I would like to help with that.
Yay!
Okay.
Yay!
I'm
All
gonna
right.
decorate.
Because we do have your torsos here still.
It's one torso.
One
Yeah.
torso.
Is it two torsos?
I think there's two torsos.
There's two torsos. I have
Yeah.
two torsos.
I think the other torso is behind here somewhere.
How many times can we say torso before it's weird?
One more
You
time.
removed- You removed the sash or the.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
You
Oh, that's
nudified that one torso.
I did. It's now a nude torso.
That's right.
New torso.
I have to say it, torso.
Moody likes to think about it at night.
On
When
that
it's
note,
dark.
I think we're good for this episode. I'm not usually one to close it out, but I think
Well, thank you.
I agree.
Thank you all very much for showing up and watching the movie. Please join us next time. Don't forget we have a Patreon. Please hop on there and give us $1. We need it. We're a bunch of nutcases and we need money. And we will talk to you on the next episode. We'll see you on the flip side.
Bye.
Bye.
I was not aware there's a Zombieverse 2. What do you think about that?
I think it's great. You know me.
What about you, Jody? You want Zombieverse 2?
do I want it? No. Will I sit in on it? Sure. If we did the first one, we'll do that.
Ramaku, what do you think of Zombieverse 2? Would you watch it?
I've never seen Zombievers 1, so that would be the prerequisite.
Well, you'd have to watch the first one, then watch the
So
second
many
one. A
movies
double
to share with
feature.
you.
Well, if we're doing it all at once, I'm down. But if you're asking
That's a lot of
me,
beaver.
like, yeah, I'm gay. It works. But like,
We want to have you get a little closer.
oh Lord. All right, we're scooting in.
Yep.
Swear to God, it's not straight.
All right.
You need more room where you go.
Okay, I'm just being a dickhead.